One of the biggest accusations is being directed at Mallory, Perez, and Sarsour, and it is anti-Semitism. Specifically, they have been criticized for their connections to the Nation of Islam and its leader, Louis Farrakhan, whose book, The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, has been called the Bible of the new anti-Semitism. According to the Anti-Defamation League, the ADL, Louis Farrakhan has built a legacy of divisiveness as the leading anti-Semite in America? I mean, who knew that? As the ADL notes, may I quote, Louis Farrakhan has built a legacy of divisiveness as the leading anti-Semite in America. He has embarked on a wide-ranging anti-Jewish campaign, which has featured some of the most hateful speeches of his career. Here he is just a few months ago at his Million Man March.
Call me a hater. You know what they do? Call me an anti-Semite. Stop it. I'm anti-termite.
He's anti-termite. Now, we don't have time to go through all of the connection of the women with Farrakhan and Nation of Islam, but let me just give you a few. There's an Instagram post from Tamika Mallory with Farrakhan. The caption says this: "Thank God this man is still alive and doing well. He is definitely the greatest of all time. Happy birthday, Louis Farrakhan." Okay? Mallory was there with this speech.
White folks are going down. And Satan is going down. And Farrakhan, by God's grace, has pulled the cover off of that satanic Jew.
Okay, so do you sit through this? Of course not.
And I'm here to say, your time is up.
Yeah. Okay, now here's a picture that Carmen Perez posted on Instagram of her and Tamika Mallory holding hands. Where is it? Right here. Holding hands with Farrakhan. Oh, that's nice, huh? In various interviews, both women have praised Farrakhan. Linda Sarsour, who is first and foremost a pro-Palestinian activist, has been less vocal about her support to Farrakhan, but she has openly praised the Nation of Islam. She tweeted that the Nation of Islam is an integral part of the history of Islam in America. Really? She says Sunni, Shia, Nation of Islam, we're all Muslim. We're all part of one ummah, one family. Can't learn or teach about the history of Islam in America without talking about the Nation of Islam. Yeah, but there's ways you could talk about the Nation of Islam that maybe are a little more accurate. The Women's March follows the tenets of the third and fourth wave of postmodern feminism, namely the idea of intersectionality. How many oppressors do you have above you? Because I'm white, I have no oppression at all. Nobody is trying to hold me down. Nobody is trying to stop me. Nobody is intersecting my life with any kind of hassle because I'm a white man, I have the greatest. Aha. Like most ideas that started in academia, intersectionality is fairly complicated, but the gist of it is that there are systems of power that discriminate against marginalized people. A person's level of discrimination depends on characteristics like your race, your nationality, your age, disability, and gender. This is why postmodern feminism is concerned not just with women, but anyone who they deem marginalized, white women or not. Dave Rubin calls it the Victim Olympics, and that's essentially what it is. Who gets the gold medal? At times, it seems to be a race to see who could be the furthest from straight white conservative man. Postmodern feminism is involved in activism of every kind. Black Lives Matter, LGBT, even Antifa. In other words, it is staunchly leftist, often to extremes. On January 12th, the Women's March made public their unity principles, which asserted, we must create a society in which women in particular, black women, native women, poor women, immigrant women, Muslim women, and queer and trans women, are free and able to care for and nurture their families however they are formed in safe and healthy environments, free from structural impediments. If you were actually for women, you wouldn't need to list all of the categories. You would just say women. In an email to Tablet, the Women's March wrote this: The Women's March models intersectional leadership through our organizing work, which includes 200 women who worked on the Governor's table, 500 partners, 24 women involved in developing the unity principles, including some of the folk who are expressing concern now. It's all interconnected. At the center of all of it, as always, is power. It's basically, and dare I say it, a dolled-up version of Marxism. The haves oppress the have-nots, so the have-nots have to overthrow the haves. This is why the left has changed the definition of racism. It's not about hate, it's about power. Teresa Shook, who founded the Women's March, you remember her, she was the one with the really good idea. I actually feel sorry for her because she's being victimized by women. She has repeatedly asked them to step down. The co-chairs have steered the movement away from its true course. I've waited, hoping they would right the ship, but they have not. In opposition to our unity principles, they've allowed anti-Semitism, anti-LGBTQ+ sentiment, and hateful racist rhetoric to become part of the platform by their refusal to separate themselves from groups that espouse these racist, hateful beliefs. Bob Bland, Tamika Mallory, Linda Sarsour, Carmen Perez, they see no problem. Racism is prejudice plus power. Linda Sarsour said it herself. There's no such thing as reverse racism. Racism is bigotry plus power. The group that doesn't have power cannot be racist. Keep that in mind when you think of Farrakhan and his speeches.